Hi, it's Jen with Astrology. Welcome to the channel. Today I was going to do a video on tarot and how you can tie your tarot readings in with astrology, and I was going to focus on the major arcana and the astrological signs or planets that kind of relate to those cards. But because of a little incident that happened this morning, a wrench got thrown in that idea, so we're kind of going another way. So we are going to do what's called a horary chart. So a horary chart is when you cast a chart for a specific question that you have that you're looking for an answer. So you cast that chart for the exact moment that you ask that question, and it should, hopefully give you your answer. So a little story about what happened this morning. This morning after getting up, and I've been using my tarot cards every day, and I've really been practicing because I actually have an event coming up in the fall, later on this fall. Well, I guess it's not fall yet, but I have an event coming up where I've been asked to do some tarot readings. So I've been brushing up. I haven't done tarot in a while, so I've really been cramming and kind of trying to get brushed up on it. So I've been, doing my studies and leaving my tarot cards usually on the counter. And so these tarot cards are ones I've had since I was 18 years old, and they're actually wrapped in, tightly tied in a tapestry. This tapestry, because you're supposed to tie your tarot cards in either piece of silk or satin or something that is meaningful to you. And this is actually, to date myself a little bit, this is actually a tapestry from the 80s that I had in my room hanging. It was a Motley Crue tapestry from their album Theater of Pain that I think I'd won at some amusement park, and I had cut off a strip and I wrapped them when I got my cards, and it's been there ever since. And so that has been the one I go to. Every time I wrap them back up, that's what they're wrapped in, and they've been like that for, oh god, over 30 years now. So anyway, so I get up this morning, I go about my business, go downstairs, and I work out before work, come upstairs, look to, I was going to do a little quick card draw and check them out and see what my day was going to bring, and they were gone. And of course, I know you guys who have watched my videos, you've seen my two little kittens that are now becoming cats, and they were full of it last night, and they woke us up numerous times making all sorts of noise. And so the first thing I thought was, oh no, they took them. So I did a quick scan around, checked around the kitchen, checked around, couldn't find anything. Well, so I knew I had to take a shower and get ready for work, so I did that. And then I said, when I got done, after I got ready, I looked all over the place in all their little hiding places. So their hiding spots are normally under beds, under couches. So I'm on my knees with a flashlight, looking all over. I even looked up in the bedroom, where my husband and my dogs were, so I knew that my dogs hadn't taken them. Not that they would have, 'cause they're good, but I thought that maybe they were up there because they like playing up there and making all sorts of noise when people are trying to sleep. So now this is, all happening at like 5 o'clock in the morning this morning. So I searched all over, could not find them, did quick searches. I started running late for work, and I said, you know what, I got to get out of here. So I left. On the way to work, I said, you know what, I'm going to run a horary chart, and I'm going to ask where my cards are. So here it is. So what I did was I focused most of the way to work because I was so angry, and so you really want to focus on that burning question. So my burning question was, where are my tarot cards, and where can I find them? So I ran the chart for the exact moment that I kind of posed the question, and so here's the chart. So this is pretty much the transits of what are going on at the time. So it is kind of like a birth chart, but it's at the exact moment that you ask the question. So it's the birth chart of the question that you're asking. So it's where the planets were at the time that I asked it this morning, and it was at about, I think, 7:49 a.m. or something like that. So the first thing you want to look at when you're looking at a Horary chart is the ascendant. So the ascendant, you see I move this around so you can see where the ascendant is. So the ascendant is Virgo. So then you want to look at the ruler of the sign ruler. So the sign ruler of Virgo, as we know, is Mercury. So Mercury just happened to be in the first house. So it was at home. It was in its rulership. So, and that kind of represents the querent. And what the querent is the person asking the question. So I, who was asking the question, am the querent. So the next thing you want to look at is the moon. So looking at the moon, it had just come off the full moon that was overnight last night, and it's in currently in Pisces because it's in opposition to the sun, and the sun is now in Virgo. I just didn't have room to put my sun up here. So we have the moon almost in an opposition with the so it's kind of like, and that's another kind of ruler of the querent. So you kind of want to look at both of those. So the next thing you want to look at is their condition. So the condition of of Mercury is good because it's in its rulership. It's not only in its rulership, but it's in its exaltation. So pretty pleased with that. So oh, that's a good sign. So the moon also, it's not in a bad place. It's in Pisces. So, you know, not feeling too bad about that one. So then what you want to look at is what represents the thing you're looking for. So because this is something that I own, so my Lost Tarot cards are represented by the ruler of the second house. So that would be, you know, the things that you own and the things that you have. So the second house is Libra. So the ruler of the second house is Venus. So Venus represents the cards. So the cards, funny enough, are in the 12th house here of being lost. You know, okay, I already knew that. That's not something I didn't know. So, so it's Venus. It's in the 12th house of hidden places. So, you know, I already knew that. So, and that house is Leo. So that's a fixed fire sign. So keep that in mind. So the next thing you want to look at is where are the malefics. So the malefics are Saturn, Mars, and the South Node. That's why I have them up here. So the Mars and the South Node were also in the second house. So that, you know, they don't make any bad aspects to the moon or to Venus or even to, you know, to Mercury. So okay, maybe it's not so bad, but seeing the South Node in there kind of made me a little bit nervous. So they make no bad aspects, but they are both malefics, and my cards might be damaged, or I might not find them at all, is what I was thinking, even though there weren't the bad aspects, but still, because they're in that house, in the house of my things, then just kind of made me kind of go that route. So the cards also are in what we call cadent house. So that is kind of like the mutable of the houses. So we have the angular, then we have the succedent, which is the next, and then the cadent is the last house. So that was kind of like, they might not be found for a while either. So if it was in the angular house, you'll find them quickly. In the succedent house, you know, they might be far off. And then the cadent house, you know, they might be gone for good. So I said, how could these two cats make these gone for good? So, you know, let's look at what else we need to look at in the chart. So the next thing you want to look at is the fourth house and the fourth house ruler. So the fourth house is Sagittarius. Fourth house ruler is Jupiter. So Jupiter is up here in Taurus in the 9th house. So Jupiter is a benefic, so that was a really good sign. It's also it's making a square to Venus, but it is making so the moon, one of our significators of the querent, is making a sextile, an applying sextile to Jupiter, and Mercury is making a trine to Jupiter. So I thought that was, again, promising. So things are kind of looking, pretty good. So again, the moon is in somewhat of dignity, because I don't know if you remember, but in the video that we did on decans, it is it's at the 13th degree, so that's the second decan of Pisces, which is, and it's kind of domicile. So the moon is happy there, so that's also a positive aspect. So, being that the cards, Venus, then are in a fixed fire sign, I would take that to mean that they might be near a fire source. So, luckily, it's still the end of summer, it's not getting cold yet, so we do have pellet stoves, we do have an oven, none of those things were on. Would not be surprised if they pull them over there. So, or it could be near your baseboard heat, any kind of heat source, because you're thinking they are near fire. Also, they're in a fixed sign, which could be meaning they're on the floor or outside. If they're in Leo, that means they could be outside or in the woods. Now, I do live up in the woods. We're pretty much in a state park, so we're surrounded by woods, but my cats don't go outside, so I said, how could they have gotten them out there? Makes no sense. So I'm thinking, I'm gonna go home, check around my pellet stoves, check around my oven, I'll find them. It also says that they were pretty much on the ground. So if it was in a mutable sign, it'd be near water or rooms with closets inside or on the inside. So that's mutable. So, or on a ground level. Cardinal signs means more higher places. So maybe on an upper level, so upstairs or up on a shelf somewhere. So I said, I don't think they could have carried them upstairs. They're mutable. I'm sorry. Fixed signs, they're on the ground. Or in like a woodsy area, which is kind of Leo, and then the mutable sign, they would have been near water. So luckily they weren't near water. I was happy about that. So there's no Pisces, no Scorpio or Cancer there. So I was happy about that because they wouldn't have got all wet. And then cardinal is high places, so upper level, shelf, blah, blah, blah. So, anyway, so Leo can represent, again, being in the woods or near maybe a chimney. So again, they don't go outside. So how would that be the case? So, could someone have broken in the house to just steal my cards and move them outside? I really don't think so. Seems really off base, and I can't picture someone doing that. So anyway, we have the moon and Mercury are making a quincunx and an inconjunct to the cards. So kind of meaning I can't find them. So a quincunx and being one sign off is kind of what we call inconjunct. So it means they can't quite see each other. They don't understand. So that was pretty much, yep, that's what was going on. So let's look to see if this horary works. So I get home from work today. Oh, here, one of the monsters right now. So I get home from work today and I go in and I start looking around. Don't see them anywhere. I look near the pellet stoves, don't see them anywhere. Dogs are kind of going crazy, so I said, you know what, let's go out, guys. So I grabbed the dogs, I put them outside, and what's out there is my cards sitting on the table exactly how I left them. So he comes in just in time. So these little monsters, for once, are off the hook, and they're not in trouble, but I'm sure they will be for something else. So I thought that was something to do that might be a little bit fun. So luckily I did find them. So all the positive aspects did happen to come true. So that applying aspect to Jupiter, so just with a little bit of looking, I found them easily. They were in the woods because they were not necessarily outside, but we have like a screened in porch, so they were there, which is right next to the woods. We actually have the woods like exactly hitting that part of the house, so that's where they were. So they were in the woods, so that made sense. They were also on the ground level of the house. They weren't upstairs, they weren't in the basement or anything like that. So the malefics let me off easy this time, so that was pretty nice of them. And so that's about it. So I hope you enjoyed this a little, something a little bit different. Next week, hopefully we're going to start the how tarot integrates into astrology, or how astrology integrates into tarot, and we'll kind of do a little a series on that, with starting with the major arcana and then going on from there. So if you enjoyed this, or if you're looking forward to that, please subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you can be alerted to new videos coming up. And I hope to see you soon. And yep, there they are, safe and sound, tapestry included. So I hope y'all have a great weekend. If you have a question, go ahead and try running a horary chart of your own and ask that question. Just make sure you follow the rules. A really great book to get is Christian Astrology by William Lilly. I was gonna bring it in here so I could show you guys. It's written in kind of old English, because it was written I think about 300 years ago, in the 1600s maybe, or I'm not really sure the exact date. I'm sorry. If I had it in front of me like I had planned, I would have that. But definitely, if you're interested in doing horary charts, and again, you could run charts on relationships. Is this relationship going to work? Is this the job for me? Is this the career path I should be on? Is this friend doing something shady? You know, anything like that. You have questions, go ahead and run that horary chart, get that book, give it a read. And the one I have actually, and I wrote the name down, I just want to look for it real quick. It actually has crib notes that are attached, and I got it on Amazon. And it's really helpful to have those crib notes on there. So, you know, if you're having trouble kind of deciphering that old English, definitely check that out. Shoot, I know I wrote it down, and now I can't find the name of the girl that did the crib notes, but definitely check that one out. It's on Amazon. Really great read. It's not too hard, but any of the words that kind of are confusing or you're not really familiar with, she puts a crib note and explains it, so it's really helpful. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Give it a try, can't hurt. I ran mine on astro.com. If you'd like to ask me for a little bit of help, I got my website up and running, so definitely check that out. You can book readings through there, and that's at astrotastrology.net, not .com, .net. Check out that website, and you can actually book a reading and contact me through the website. So I hope y'all have a great weekend and enjoy. Bye-bye.